Okay, here we go. Growth Day. Happy Monday. It is a great day to grow, to start this week inspired, to start off with a great attitude, to start off in a place where you are intentional and hopeful and excited for this week. And so I'm excited to bring to you Growth Day Morning Show. We're going to be sharing how to do it. I know mindset has been a big issue and a big challenge for a lot of people this year. Like how do you maintain a good mindset when it seems like the world is crazy, when other people might not always support you or cheer you on, when you're trying to figure things out to help.
Good morning. Happy Monday, Brendon. I see already in the comments, everyone's in here saying, go, let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
The morning show. Yes, good morning.
We're diving in. We're diving in. It's Mindset Week. So how do we put you in a good mindset to have a fun and a joyful, a conscious, a thrilling and exciting and adventurous week? All these things your mindset are going to control. So we're excited to talk about that. Jamie, I have a pop question for you to start the day.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I was reading the comments. I actually
I'm nervous,
read all of
but
your
I'm ready.
comments.
Okay, me too.
So please make sure you comment down below any questions you have for me and Jamie, but also let us know where you're tuning in from because we love that stuff. But I was reading somebody who was commenting from Norway, and she asked, Brendon, what is it you and Jamie think you have in common? Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see here. I lost your audio.
Back?
You're back. Yeah,
back?
I think we have
okay,
Wi-Fi
great.
issue.
Perfect.
Okay, so she asked, Brendon, what do you think you and Jamie have in common? Because obviously we're very different backgrounds in many ways, but also I think it was a great question. So starting the day with a fun pop quiz. This is from the audience, so please let us know what questions you have for us. This is Jamie Kern Lima, built It Cosmetics and sold it to L'Oreal, has a new book coming out, Believe It, comes out next week. So if you haven't pre-ordered, go to believeit.com. I'm Brendon Burchard, for those who are meeting me for the first time, founder of Growth Day, and we are just simply here to put some inspiration and joy in your hearts. This is our 6th week doing this live show for you guys free all around the world, and we're curious about your questions for us, but I loved this question from someone in Norway. So Jamie, what do you think we have in common?
Let's see. I'm curious about your answer for this.
Me too.
I think we both love the idea of bringing the joy in the morning and all day long. I think that we are both personal growth geeks, dorks. We geek out on it. Let's see. Every day I feel like I learn more things we have in common. I learned that even as kids and young adults, we were into quotes and watching Dr. Martin Luther King's speeches and watching the best, most inspiring people in the world speak. So much. I think that we are both really, really good friends to other people. I think that we both delight so
I like
much,
that one. I like that one.
We both delight so much in celebrating other people, their talents, what they're doing, and saying oh, how can I be wind beneath their wings and lift
everyone who's watching me right now on Instagram totally struggle with this mic thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I'm listening. I'm nodding, and my thing is bouncing around. I don't know what's going on with this thing today.
Is that your Instagram, your phone for Instagram? You guys,
my phone for Instagram is all over the place.
Okay, so many people part of our Growth Day community, right? A lot of you, I read all your comments too. You're setting up this, and for some of you pre-pandemic, Zooms and everything was part of your world, but now in this time we're in, a lot of people are figuring out all the tech, all the Zooms. And for Brendon and I to do the morning show, it's 4 different devices plus an app to stream all the Facebook pages that this goes into. There's so many things going on. And another thing we have in common, we both tape our phone up to with blue painter's tape to get the Growth Day morning show in the morning. Lots in common. No, but the thing I was
That's literally just what happened. That's literally what happened. My tape slipped and this whole iPod or tripod thing went whoop. So for those who are learning how to do all this, I was on a Zoom on Thursday, and a guy came on with his shirt off. He thought his video was off. So he came and he sat down and he's like putting his shirt on. We're all like, oh God, your video, dude, you're naked in front of the world.
Wow. Anyway. This is happening more and more. I saw I haven't even watched the whole video, but I think it was a lawyer in front of a court judge. And there was like a cat filter that came up, and the guy kept trying to speak to the judge in the court case. And it was a picture of a cat talking, and he was trying to figure it out live with the judge, how to get it turned off, and he couldn't. Anyways, that thing went viral like crazy. I haven't watched the whole thing, but all kinds of
Because we've all
problems.
had crazy stuff happen on the internet, for sure. You all know, when you usually start recording something, like that's when the leaf blower or the mowers start, or that's when, the kid runs in, or that's when literally before the show started today, I spilled on myself and had to like change my shirts like 10 seconds before we went live. So it's just part of the game.
The big question is, for the people showing up half naked, is it really an accident? That's the big question.
You got to wonder, you got to think you got to think through that one for sure.
I don't know. I mean, who knows? But all kinds of people are figuring out.
Okay. What else do you think we have in common?
Well, what I was going to say, this is why in the personal growth world, right? I think there's so many people part of Growth Day that probably love so many of the Growth Day coaches, and also just so many people out there that have spent decades also in the personal growth space. I think why you're called Godfather of Growth by everyone else is because, and I think we have this in common, celebrate other people's talent, celebrate other people's wins, and say, how can I lift them even higher? And I think that's something we both have in common. I think we both get such joy out of that. Whether it's someone in the Growth Day community, we're celebrating something they're doing, or it's a friend or anyone else. So I think we have that in common. But what do you think? What's your answer?
I do want to emphasize what you just said, though, because I think it is a mindset that we share in common, which is very uncommon by nature, which is a lot of people see other people succeed and they get jealous. Or they want to copy them, or they have a little bitterness inside about it. And I think you and I are just free of that. I don't know where that comes from, but I think it's big. When I came in the personal development space, and I was lucky to be, most of you guys know, I was so early in the online space, like so early. I mean, in terms of like personal development, I think I was, if not the very first person in the personal development space to hit like 1 million on Facebook back in the day. Maybe I was number 2 or 3, but it was so early. And at that time when I came on in the personal development space, especially like 2000, I would say 5 and 6, it was so competitive. No one over here shared their marketing secrets with anybody over here. No one shared like how they're building their audience over there. No, it was almost complete siloed. You had these gurus, most of them didn't even know each other or talk to each other because their egos were so huge. They felt like everything was competition. Competition. And it was like, what I do love about social media is it created a new mindset for collaboration. And so now everyone does collabs, right? And after teaching Experts Academy for 10 years, it was like always pushing the industry forward to share what you learn. Like all this stuff we should always share. Here's my strategy. Here's your copy. Here's the email sequence. Here's the thing. Here's the ad. Like just share. And I think you and I do that a lot. And it really differentiates us in our career, with our teams, it really in the marketplace, because then everybody also loves and respects the person who's most giving. And I think I think that is a big mindset thing we share. I think we both share joy in the little things. Like we geek out a lot like little things can really just make our day, or we can obsess about the little things as well. So it's just like the little things focus, I think is big, matched with the ability to also hold space for great dreams. I don't think a lot of people can do both, or have the intention or the discipline to make both, to take in the joys and the pleasures of the little moments, but also have expansive ambition. Because I think the most important mindset people can have is expansive ambition for their lives, their families' lives, the impact they can have. Because I think the number one limiting mindset in the world is just thinking too small, and thinking too small of yourself, and thinking too poorly of yourself, without realizing Like people are like, how can you have such big dreams and visions, Brendon? You're from this small town in Montana. You had no money coming up. And I was like, oh, because I don't think my destiny or my vision has much to do with me or is limited by me. I have so much trust in God that I believe expansive things will happen, just as the universe is expanding. And I just really believe that things will expand if I keep showing up with a good attitude and working hard and taking care of people.
Yeah.
That's my mindset. Show up with a good attitude, work hard, take care of people. If I do that every day, that's a good mindset to have, a good intention. And I think they'll be rewarded. It might take long. There might not be everybody who gets it, but I think that's a mindset that's differentiated me. I see you do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so good. I love this message. I talk about a lot and believe it, actually, how I had to overcome some of the things. Like I remember when I was working as a Denny's waitress, right? And like to really adopt this mindset of where I come from does not determine where I'm going, or where I'm even at right now in this moment in time doesn't limit the ability to have like God-sized dreams and to have expansive vision. And one of my closest friends who's speaking live at the event on Monday, Leah Key, always says, she grew up in a homeless shelter and she saw people all around her that did not dream, that let fear rule their life. And I'm talking about her immediate family. And, her mother said something to her as a little girl that stuck with her. She said, your predicament doesn't determine your destiny. And she'd always say to Leah, you have a light inside of you, right? And Leah held on to that even during all the years growing up in the projects in Philadelphia when she was able to get out of a homeless shelter. And, she was like, where I come from doesn't determine where I'm going. And slowly over the years, she started making friends that had, expansive vision like she does. And, you fast forward now and she's created her own company, launched it on QVC. So she went from homeless to 100 million homes with her jewelry line. And, it's all about mindset, right? For her, it wasn't, oh, do you come from the right family? Do you have any connections? Do you have any money? No, it was for her. It was what made all the difference was adopting this mindset of believing of her own dreams and her own self, even if she couldn't figure out how it was going to happen or how to get there one day. And I love that we're focusing on mindset this week on Growth Day Morning Show, because I think that it's like the thing. It's like the most important thing. More important than where you're at right now, where's the traction happening or not happening in your business right now, what's going on with all the setbacks and the hard times and this hard season we've come out of. The mindset, getting that right, life-changing. That's
truth. That's truth. I think that is just a huge miss for most people, is that simple. What's true is, what I love about this Growth Day community is all of you, when I say mindset, you automatically know the insane value of that. Like people who love personal development know, like, oh, that's foundational. But when most people come into personal growth, they've had years of bad mindset. They've had years of a bad attitude, or they've suffered, doubt, depression, discouragement for so long that it's like, oh, wow, this is the right mindset, and the ability to generate that right mindset on a consistent basis is a revolution for your life. It's not like an incremental change. It's like it's night and day. It's light and dark. It's joy or suffering. It is such a huge topic that I just believe most people, take advantage of or take for granted. But I know that our Growth Day community knows that. So if you would, in the comments down below, would you guys share with us, what is one of your favorite mindsets? Since we're Mindset Week, that's our theme for the week. What's a mindset that you think people should have? Maybe that's just a thought that you think they should have, or an attitude you think they should have, or just a way of thinking that, like a pattern that you think would be beneficial to them. I'm seeing optimism. I'm seeing gratitude. I'm seeing focus. I'm seeing joy. I'm seeing a lot of mindset for positivity, for growth. That's great. I like that one. I think it's really good. I think thank you for sharing that, guys. I think that's key.
And
that's
also
key.
One thing I want to share, just that's coming to mind right now, with the topic of mindset, Brendon, is something that you brought up earlier, right? Which is this idea and I love these words. Like, I write all about this and believe it. I talk about how this big realization I came through, that we're not here on this earth to compete with anyone else, right? We're just here to compete with who we know we're born capable of. And I want to share a real life story that happened to me recently in real time, actually. And I found it fascinating, right, as it pertains to mindset, because I think so many people are tuning in. They're part of our morning show right now. And maybe it's good to just do a self-check on, are you comparing yourself to anyone else? And are you thinking someone else is your competition and getting distracted by it, versus thinking, oh, I'm on my own journey. Who am I capable of becoming? And what if you actually just celebrate that other person's achievements? And here's a quick story that just happened to me that I was kind of like, huh, because, you know, when it comes to women in particular, this is super antiquated way of thinking, but there's still amongst a lot of women this idea of like, oh, because they're so used to just seeing one woman at the table in a boardroom or what. And so there's a kind of a limited way of thinking that we're overcoming, that if another woman wins, it means it takes away from your chances of winning, right? And there's just this competitiveness that just isn't true, right? It's just not true. And Abby Wambach says, you know, her victory is your victory. And it's so true. Anyways, so something just happened to me. You know, I'm doing this big live event Monday, Feb 22nd. I tried to pin the website. I don't think it's letting me pin because I didn't start the live. So I texted it to you just in case, but it's called Becoming Unstoppable. So let me just share it, okay? Because I think everyone out there right now, it might help inspire you with your own mindset. But, you know, I have some of the most inspiring people on the day speaking live, right? Including Brendon Burchard speaking live.
What?
Yep, Brendon Burchard speaking live. It's a whole day on building confidence. So I asked Mel Robbins to speak live, and she said yes. And I'm so excited about it. And I got some feedback, right? And I just want to share this. I got some feedback from someone saying, so Mel Robbins is the most sought after female speaker in the world right now. You know that, right? I'm like, yeah, I know that, of course. And they're like, you know that, like, this is your event. So are you sure you want her? Like, she might overshadow. No joke.
Really?
Yeah. Like, are you
That's
sure?
So lame.
But this is huge. This is what I want to share. Like, I'm so excited about this because I'm like, oh wow, it's seeing this play out before my eyes. They're like, are you sure? Like, it's your big event, Jamie, on the whole day. You have Brendon Burchard and Tony Robbins, all these people speaking live for free. Like, Mel Robbins is the most sought after female speaker in the world. Are you sure you want her on your stage? And I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, first of all, here's how I feel authentically through and through every ounce of my being. If another woman is at the top of her game, my job, what brings me the most joy is saying, how can I lift her up higher? How can I invite her to my stage where maybe, you know, over 100,000 people are going to see her for the first time? Like, how can I celebrate the #1 female speaker in the world, Mel Robbins, and raise her higher? Like, that's where I get my joy, number one. Number two, all these people that are going to share, and what a blessing they're going to share their time with us on the day and show up, right? And it's free, by the way. It's a free event at becomingunstoppable.com. But when you show up for this event, my job is to serve. Like, my job is to go, how can I, everyone is going to spend their precious time with me on this day. I want them to get the most out of it. What a blessing to them to hear Mel Robbins speak live on the day. Like, you usually have to pay so much money to go to a keynote speech and fly somewhere to hear her speak. Same with you, Brendon. So I'm like thinking, wow, this antiquated mindset of people thinking that someone else is a threat to our own, like our own success. It's so antiquated and it's so not true. And in my own journey of building It Cosmetics from this tiny company to now it's the largest luxury makeup company in the US now, which is wild, right? It passed all the department store brands I used to save my Denny's.
I remember you texting us when that happened. It was
crazy,
like,
right?
woo!
But like, if I, on that journey of building this huge company, had like got distracted thinking these other brands were my competition, I would never have been able to build something different, or special. I would have limited
Love that.
myself to thinking, oh, this is my competition. It's like, oh, no, no, no. Our potential is our competition. The potential we have inside of us is our only competition. Long story short, I am so excited to champion Mel Robbins on my stage and to like go, how can I lift her higher as her being the #1 female speaker in the world, most sought after, like highest paid everything, right? And she's so good. And like, I'm so excited to introduce her probably to a whole lot of people maybe who haven't heard her speak before. Maybe they're, you know, gonna join Growth Day and have her coach them as part of Growth Day, which is amazing. Anyways, I'm fired up about it. I literally couldn't believe. And this person like is amazing and smart and thought they were looking out for me, but didn't realize their own, I want to say, antiquated mindset. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm all fired up on a Monday.
You know, get fired up on a Monday, because it's obscene that people still think that way. And as soon as you go from, because that's just a limited pie idea, that's just a, you know, if they get it, I can't. It's a zero-sum thinking, which is the worst mindset ever.
Yeah.
And you know, most people go, no, but competition is really good. It's like, no, competition is really great in sports, right? Where there is a zero sum. One team wins, the other. But even the greatest sports people of time have realized how bringing that into other parts of their life can be extraordinarily dangerous. You know, I work with Olympians who talk about that all the time. It's like the competition on the field is really important. Off the field can ruin your life. But in business, you're really not competing with anybody but yourself. You think you are competing with other people. No, you're trying to do what you do uniquely and distinctly at the highest level of excellence. Yes, you need to know what other people are doing. Like, what is the quote unquote competition? Like, what do other people in your space do? I never even think about anyone in my space as competition. I go, oh, what are other people in my space doing? Can I learn from that to make my work better? Can I, like, that learning mindset, I would share out of everything anyone could learn here. Adopting the learning mindset is the primary move to changing your life. The second one I would say, the primary mindset, which you have, and we're kind of a theme of what we're talking about right now. The second primary mindset I think everyone should adopt is the role model mindset. I speak about this all the time. Stepping into that space of your life where you say, oh, you know what? I'm going to live with such an integrity, consistency, discipline, care for others that they see me as an example. And I'm setting a standard or an example for my kids. I'm setting an example or standard for my team. I'm setting an example or standard for the school, for this community, for this team, for this organization. Like that mindset that people are paying attention to your energy and your behavior makes you a better person. It's when we are in our own world that we become so narcissistic that we can't even recognize our effect on others, that the poison within grows. But when we recognize, because we're social animals, right? We're social animals. So when we recognize our impact with other people and we want to lift them by being a role model, suddenly it demands a better set of behaviors from us.
I love that. I feel like comparison is poison within, like exactly what you just said. It's such a distraction. Also, I want to say one thing about role model mindset too, because you talk about it so much. And I want to make one clarification, actually ask you one clarification. I think there'll be a lot of people out there who will think like, oh, I'm too flawed to be a role model. I'm too this, I've made too many past mistakes. Right? Like, I just want to say, I don't think you have to be perfect to be a role model, have a role model mindset. I don't think you don't have to like not make mistakes every day or not have misjudgments or miscalculations, or it's not that. Everyone, no matter how many mistakes you've made, how many misjudgments, how imperfect, how all those things, can still adopt a role model mindset. Can you make that clarification too? Because I think a lot of people instinctively feel like, oh, I'm not qualified to have a role model mindset. Right. But I think you would say,
the good news is you're the only person qualifying yourself. So the good news is you're the only person qualifying yourself.
And isn't that true on almost everything?
Yes,
you're the only person qualifying yourself.
That's the ultimate mindset of something in personal development, which began in personal development, which is called self-reliance. Which is called the idea of taking personal responsibility or personal accountability for who you are and how you show up and what you're about. And so I think fundamentally, we have to realize all of our great role models, like the big names or the big books or the big leaders in the past, they became a role model precisely because we saw their struggle and they still showed up with intention and good
Yes.
behavior.
Yes.
So the struggle was not removed. The mess was not removed. The vulnerability was not removed. It was because of their success and their striving was built upon a foundation of disadvantage or difficulty that we go, that's why that person's a role model, because they still show up. So if you've been hurt or you're not perfect, the fact that you still show up with good intentions and good behaviors for others and yourself, that makes you a role model, not because you have a million. Look, there's a ton of people on Instagram. They have millions of fans for showing their butt every day. Okay, following and popularity
no judgment
does not equal role model. No, but listen, popularity does not equal role model.
Right.
Money does not equal role model. Right. Your fancy car or your jet does not equal. What equals a role model is you keep showing up even when it's hard, and you have good intentions and behaviors for others. Yeah, that happens on the daily. You start going, you know what, that person, I've literally, and I've highlighted these folks on my shows and things in the past, like I have janitors in my life and mechanics in my life and people who are like literally living in poverty in my life who were role models to me. Yeah. And even when I was in poverty in my life, seeing that from there were people in my community who didn't have anything, who were still the people you turned to because you knew they've also struggled, but you also knew they cared. I think that's the magic. I think that makes role models. So speaking of role models, today's show, we got to call it Jamie Kern Lima. Ladies and gentlemen, I pinned on Instagram this site, but if you're on Facebook, please go to becomingunstoppable.com. Jamie's got her live free event. I'm there keynoting. She's keynoting. She's hosting. She's pulling all of us together. Super celebrity speaker list, and it's literally free just to change your life. Go to becomingunstoppable.com. I hope you will join us there. It's next week, which is crazy. Yes. It's like a week away. Yeah. So becomingunstoppable.com. Get your free tickets. Share it with your team. Share it with your family. It's going to be an awesome event for your personal growth. So if you love Growth Day, it's because you love personal development. And she's putting on probably the best personal development event of early 2021, hands down. So make sure you get, it might be the best of the year. I can't qualify, but I hope that you'll be there and I'll be there. So go to becomingunstoppable.com. Jamie, thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Brendon. Thank you, everyone.
She's so awesome. Thank you all for starting your morning with us. Please remember, this week can be awesome if you want it to. Please remember, you're stronger than you think. Please remember, the future holds good things for you. And please remember, every day, good day to show up with a new mindset. Every day is a good day to grow.